Hey everyone, it's Heather Nichols, and I'm excited to share the newest card making kit from Tailored Expressions, Love Grows Here. Let's take a look at what's included in the kit. All of our kits come in a zippered pouch with a custom sticker on the front so you can keep everything organized. And the star of this kit is the Let Love Grow Layering Stencil and Clear Combo Set. The stencils feature 6 plant designs and 6 pot designs that you can mix and match. There are clear stamps to add extra patterns and details. The coordinating die collection features dies that cut out all of the plants and all of the pots in one pass through your die cut machine, plus a few extra accessories for your plants. The Insider's Love Grows Here panels are perfect for adding sentiments inside your cards. You can also buy these panels outside of the kit. And finally, the Shelf Control stamp set with all sorts of plant-themed sentiments. Available outside the kit are the Shelf Control coordinating dies, the Love Grows Here envelope seals, the Knock on Wood background stamp, the Dotted Diamonds embossing folder, and the Foil It Essential Patterns panels. Here are additional supplies I use to create my projects. For ink, we have pea pod and kiwi, cilantro and poblano pepper, avocado and olive, toffee and sweet potato pie, honey and pumpkin, mocha and chocolate truffle. I'm using my bitty blender brushes. I've got pixie spray to hold my stencils in place. For splatters, I've got Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White, Chocolate Truffle Liquid Watercolor, and a water brush. I'm using white tiny diamonds and multi-medium matte. And finally, I'm using foam squares and thin 3D foam squares. Let's start off with stenciling the plants. On this 6x6 stencil, the left side will stencil the base of the plant, and then the right side will stencil the plant details. There are guides in the stencils to ensure everything lines up perfectly. I've got a 3x6 piece of sugar cube cardstock and I'm lining that up on the left side of the stencil. I sprayed the back of my stencils with pixie spray so that will hold it in place. And then I'm stenciling this first side with kiwi ink. For your first layer, I recommend a lighter ink color. And then on your second layer, I would recommend a darker ink color. When I'm done stenciling, I'll remove the stencil and move it over to the right side. Use the squares as a guide to line the stencil up for this next layer. I'm stenciling this layer with pea pod ink. Here's a layering stencil tip. If you feel like your 2 layers of ink are blending into each other and not having a crisp edge, just make sure to give the inks a few minutes to dry before layering another color of ink over the top. When I finished blending with the pea pod ink, I removed the stencil to reveal my 6 cute plant designs. Next, let's stencil the pots, and this is going to work exactly like I just showed you for the plants. I'm lining the left side of the stencil over a 3" by 6" piece of sugar cube cardstock, and I'm stenciling this first layer with toffee ink. That creates the bases of the pots, and then I'll peel that stencil off and move it to the right side using the squares to line everything up. The second layer adds all sorts of cute patterns and details to the pots, and I'm stenciling this layer with sweet potato pie ink. Now I've got 6 different pot designs and 6 different plant designs, and it's time to die cut. The coordinating die for the plants will cut them all out in one pass through your die cut machine. Use the square guides on both the die and the stenciled piece to line everything up perfectly. The die for the plants is going to cut out an extra section that extends beyond the bottom of the plant stems. This is designed to add space for adhesive to attach the plants into the pots. The die for the pots will also cut all 6 designs out with one pass through your die cut machine. Now you can mix and match which pots and plants are going to go together for your project. I stenciled up more plants and pots. The color combo for these plants is cilantro and poblano pepper. These plants were done with avocado and olive. These pots were stenciled with honey ink, and then I stamped details with the clear stamps using Mocha ink. And the color combo for these pots is sweet potato pie and pumpkin. It was so much fun to mix and match all of these plants and pots for my project. Once I had everything how I wanted it, I adhered the plants into the pots. Now I'm going to create a few accessories for my plants. I am stamping the new Knock on Wood background onto a piece of toffee cardstock using Mocha ink. I set this up in my MISTI. The cardstock is held in place with a little bit of adhesive, lining the stamp up over the top, and then closing the lid of the MISTI to pick up the stamp. I inked up the stamp with Mocha ink and then closed the lid of the MISTI to stamp the background onto the cardstock. From this piece of cardstock, I cut out shelves and also a stool for my plants. And from a plain piece of toffee cardstock, I cut out a plant hanger. I'm embossing a piece of Toffee cardstock and sugar cube cardstock with the Dotted Diamonds embossing folder to create backgrounds. I'm adding the cardstock into the embossing folder and sending it through my die cut machine using an embossing sandwich. I added a bit of extra dimension to the shelves and the stool by adding ink blending around the edges with Mocha ink using my bitty blender brush. Splatters are added to the plants, shelves, and stool using Chocolate Truffle liquid watercolor and Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White. I pick up the color with a water brush and then tap the brush over my fingers to add the splatters. Now it's time to put the cards together, and I had so much fun playing with the layout and arranging the plants on the shelves with the little stool and the plant hanger. I chose the Love Grows Here and Peace Love Plant sentiments from the Shelf Control stamp set for my cards. I used my Misty to stamp the sentiments with chocolate truffle ink, and then I cut them out with the coordinating dies. I adhered all of the plants and the shelves and all of the other accessories and sentiments down to the backgrounds using a combination of regular adhesive and foam adhesive to add dimension. Once everything was adhered to the backgrounds, I added them to card bases. The card with the sugar cube background is on a toffee card base, and the card with the toffee background is on an olive card base. The final touch is to add some flowers to this little plant on the stool. The flowers are cut out from honey cardstock, and I used white tiny diamonds for the centers. My cards are done, and here's a closer look at both of them. I hope you enjoyed learning about the new Love Grows Here card making kit, and I hope you learned something new too. You can find the kit and the other supplies that I used to create my cards at the Tailored Expressions web store at tailoredexpressions.com. Thanks so much for joining me, everybody, and I'll see you next time.